And I'm back. And now that we have all the pistons placed around the edge, so you can see it's a solid wall, and these pistons are encased, so you can see that there's a sticky piston right there, so that block will be pushed out once the redstone is wired correctly. And this side, being normal pistons, has just a piston wall right there. And actually, I did forget something. And make sure you don't forget this. You need to seal this piston wall in on the back side, or else when the redstone lights up, it will push light into your mob trap, decreasing the spawn rates. Because a piston, when it is pushing something, will allow light through. So whenever it's blocked, there will still be light flowing through into here. So, in order to make these powered, we need some sort of power source. And to do this, we're going to make a piston clock. Now, a piston clock is a way to make extremely long delays in a very small amount of space. So let's go ahead and figure out what the center is, and the center is these two blocks. So, let's just go ahead and pick this one. From here, we're going to extend 2 blocks like that. We're going to extend out a ways, let's say 5 aside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, and then you're going to go out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're just going to fill this in. And when you are done with this, you will have a platform where you can build the piston clock on. So I will quickly finish this and I will be right back. Okay, I have the pad built. So now you're going to use normal pistons, and you're going to place them in 3 blocks, and you're going to place them in 3 blocks. So it's going to sit like this. And actually you're going to want it elevated a block. Oops. So you're going to want to place it on this level. And then you're going to want to go to the next piston. And for this piston, since this piston is, let's actually make it right here. So 2 in and 3 out so that it's even. Now this piston is going to push over. So you're going to want the next piston to be right here. And what this will do is when the blocks from this piston reach here, this piston will push them on. And you just do this for all 4 corners. So you go here, and you go here. Nope, here. So you want it to be 3 in and 2 out on all 4 pistons facing each other. Now, to prevent you from epically destroying your area, you're going to use obsidian. I can get that torch back later. Now, obsidian and blocks that retain information, such as chests, furnaces, and any other block like that stores information, so a dispenser. Anything that stores information or obsidian cannot be pushed by a piston, which means if you wire this incorrectly and this piston and you make it go backwards, it will take a much longer delay, and when this piston is powered and it has a full line of blocks, it will not push it out of the way. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put on a stand, you're going to put a redstone torch. This is your power output. So what this will do, actually you're going to do redstone torch on the ground, and you're going to put a block on top. And then you're going to put a block here. Now what this will do is that redstone torch is constant power. And in order to make it be non-constant, first we're going to need redstone. You don't need obsidian anymore. And you're going to need some glass. For those of you who don't know, redstone power cannot travel through grass. So if you see, there's redstone power here, and you run it along until it is 1 block away from this piston loop. And you're going to fill this piston loop in, and I did not put obsidian here. So let's go ahead and get rid of the sticky pistons and put the obsidian there. Make sure you have obsidian on all the corners. It's very important for when you're building it to have obsidian on all 4 corners. You're going to fill this in, and then make sure you do this. This is very important, or else you will make everything fail. Break 1 block. If you don't break this block, none of the pistons will work and your mob trap will never flush. It will still work, but it won't be near as effective. So now, in this corner, you're going to place glass. And in this corner, you're going to place glass. And then you are going to put a redstone repeater right here. It must be a redstone repeater. Then place a block of stone here and put redstone dust. As you can see, the power is going through the block. But if that glass were to be here, so to simulate that, I'll just put a piece of glass, there's no power coming through. So this is when your piston block would be flushing. But we want there to be power right now. So now that we've got this, we can run the redstone power around, and you're going to want to run this above because you're going to have other redstone wire running for the piston clock. You're going to want to run this wire out to this block, and you're going to need to place a couple repeaters in the way because redstone current, for those of you who don't know, will only travel 15 blocks before it doesn't travel any farther. So you're going to want to just run redstone out. Don't worry if it dies. So you see mine just died there. And you're going to run it right there. So where it dies, the next redstone, you're going to want to put a redstone repeater. Unless the way you built it, if the redstone's right here, this will not power the next redstone down. So you have to put it one back if it ends up being right on this edge, the way you built it. So this redstone is going to be the basis for all our power to these pistons. So what you're going to do is behind each and every piston, you're going to put a redstone repeater. So I will quickly do that. You're going to put redstone repeaters all the way down. And you're going to do that on the other side too. These ones can be directly next to the pistons. And make sure you do not put any delay on any of the repeaters. It will make your flushing mob trap act really weirdly. And you'll find that it won't work correctly. So make sure none of these have any delay, and you can easily check this by making sure that they're all right next to each other. If one were off, you can see pretty easily that it is not lined up with all the rest. And I don't think I had any on this side. No, I did not. So now you're going to run the redstone out to these repeaters. And what I would recommend doing is, it's going to be too long, but I would recommend putting a repeater right there so that you have to travel as far as possible before it dies. So you can see the redstone power doesn't reach every single piston. To fix this, there's an easy way. You have to pull the power out into another repeater, and you have to be careful because you can't let this power reach it, which means these blocks are going to have to be handled specially. They will go in, and you're going to have to, instead of putting the power there, you're going to have to put the power like that. And as you can see, those pistons are still being powered. What this does is this block is directly next to the piston, or actually it's powering the block above the piston, so it will end up powering the piston. And you can see you can stand on them. But if I were to turn off that power, so if I were to remove this torch, you can see all the pistons turn off and all of them retract. And then when the power turns back on, all the pistons extend again. So we're going to do the same thing for this side, just in the other direction. So you're going to go out, you're going to place a repeater right here. Repeaters can't go around corners, remember that. And then you're going to just run redstone all the way down. And when it dies, don't worry. Just go 2 blocks back and pull power out. You need a repeater. You need to break these repeaters. And you need to have the redstone current go like this. And this won't work. See how they're both not powered? You have to have it running onto a block right here. What this will do is it will power both the pistons. And now for a quick test, let's go ahead and see if all the pistons have retracted. This side, yes. And this side, yes. And then if we put that redstone piece back, all the pistons should have extended. So now you can add the water, and then you're going to want to cover this whole thing over. So you're going to grab your bucket of water. What do I need? I don't need obsidian. You're going to grab your bucket of water, and if you're not on creative like I am, you can do this with 2 buckets of water or even 1. And you can do that by placing water at the first block and the third block, and then it'll make the second block a water source that you can pull water from, and you can just keep doing that, grabbing it from the second block and moving it to the third block. And you can just extend it, but since I'm on creative, I can just spam click, and it will fill it up. And make sure you don't do this, because if you're unlucky, and I was lucky, it will destroy all of your redstone wiring. So you want to be really careful when you're placing water when you're next to redstone. Make sure you don't place it off to it, or it will destroy all your redstone. Now, to prevent there from becoming lighting if it's daytime, you're going to put a cover over the water that's just 1 block above, like that. This will keep it from when the pistons retract. This will keep it from there being any light in, as well as for these pistons there would be light all the time otherwise. So now we have the basics of it, and you can see there's no water in here. No water at all. But if I were to turn the redstone off, and I'll do this by breaking the redstone wire, you can see now there's water, and you can see I actually did this side wrong. And if you do this on your world, there's an easy way to fix it. Just place redstone, just place these all the way down. You don't have to break anything. Just place half slabs all the way down. And don't do that. Place half slabs all the way down. And as you can see, now I can't travel in there, and the water travels all the way. And that will fix when I turn the redstone back on. So now, if I turn the redstone on, the water will go away. So, and that water current will go back to normal. And if I break it again, the water will come back. And as you can see, the water runs right up to the edge without going over. This will push all mobs into the canal. So, that's all good, but you don't have it automated. So in order to make it automated, you need to make this piston clock run. And that was a lot of lag. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to place wire around the outside to make these, what are they called, pistons run, and that was an epic fail. So you're going to want to start it so that this piston runs first. Then you're going to want this piston to push. Actually, you're going to want this piston, you want the redstone current to travel in the reverse direction of the repeaters. The reason for this is, when a piston pushes, the next piston that needs to push needs to be the one behind it so that it fills up that gap that's there. So in order to do this, what you're going to do is you're going to put a block here on all the pistons. Do I want to do that? Yes, I do. You want to put a block behind every single piston, and you want to put wire on it. And this is just the beginning, so put wire on every single block. Then you're going to run one more line of stone. This was just not big enough. You're going to run one more line of stone all the way down and all the way around. And now, time for the actual wire part of it. And right here, you will get issues if you try to put redstone wire. So to fix that, just put a block right there, and now you can run redstone wire directly underneath and it will not interfere. If you didn't, you'd have interference, which you don't want. So you have this. Now you're going to want to just run redstone wire all the way around to start. We are going to replace some of these with repeaters. You're going to run redstone wire all the way around. Just all the way. Hit every single block. And the reason that this has such a huge delay is that every time around, you're moving 4 blocks, but every time around, you're going to have 6 repeaters worth of delay, which means this block needs to travel a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks before it will reach there. And I believe this one has to travel 10 to reach here. So what will happen is, every 9 times the amount of delay you put here, 1 pulse will be sent to your flush. So let's go ahead and set up that pulse now. So we want this one to power first, then this one, then this one, then this one, which means you want the repeaters to face this way. So let's go ahead and use 6 repeaters aside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put all these on maximum delay. And you can fiddle around with the delay if you want to. If you want it to flush faster, you want it to flush slower, just either add more repeaters or add more glass. That'll make it go faster. The more glass you have, the faster it'll go. The more stone you have, the slower it will go. The more repeaters you have, the slower it will go. And the less repeaters you have, or the less ticks of delay you have on a repeater, the faster it will go. So you're just going to put 6 repeaters on every side. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to do this on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you guys need any more explanation, just leave a comment and I'll try to help out, or comment if you think I'm consistently not explaining enough. Just tell me what you think. This is only my second video, so please keep that in mind. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make sure none of your repeaters are facing the wrong way. 6. So now you have 6. So which piston do you want to push first? We want this one to push first, right? So on every corner, let's go ahead and make a spot, just one block like that, where you can jump start the machine. This you would use, say, if your world got, you saved your world and exited, and then you come back and the repeaters are glitched. You would break the glitched repeaters, replace them, and then you just start it again. And to start it, all you're going to do, and actually you can start it from any platform, simply because of the obsidian, it won't be able to push. But we're going to go ahead and start it from this side. So what you're going to do is you're going to place and then quickly break a redstone torch, and as you can see, the piston clock has started pushing. So it'll push around. So let's go ahead and test the efficiency. So I'm going to go down to my platform, my 1 block long platform. And you're also, on your actual build of this, you're going to want to light up your platform, because mobs will spawn an insane amount high in the sky because there's no other spots for them to spawn. So you're going to want to light up the blocks where you're standing and this whole flat area up here. So as you can see, this is running pretty slowly. So if you want to make it faster, you can add more glass or change the redstone delay. Adding more glass would probably be easier. And what's going to end up happening, so let's go ahead and go inside the trap to see what happens. So we're in the trap, and you can see it's pitch black, except for where my drop is. So we're inside the trap, and you hear the piston clock going off in the background, and all the water just got pushed. So you can hear the pistons are pushing again, the water's flowing, all the mobs are getting pushed, and then the pistons turn off. So let's go ahead and do a quick test and see how much stuff actually spawns. So to do this, I'm going to build a platform for the mobs to die on. I just need to figure out where they're falling to. So this is the outline of where they're falling. Right here. They are falling onto this 2x2 pad right here. So let's go ahead and quickly do a test for efficiency. And I will be doing this on easy. And for your world, you would have a more elaborate killing trap, but for my purposes, a simple little fall trap will suffice nicely. So now I'm going to turn it on to easy, and let's see what happens. And as I showed in the last video, you can see there's an instant spawn. So there's 8 enemies up there, and 1 just fell. Go away. And you can see if they land here, it's a one-shot kill. If they land here, it's an instant death, as you can see right there. And works on spiders. So there's 24 mobs up here. So you can see this is fairly effective. There's a ton of spiders, there's a ton of stuff in here. So let's go ahead and figure out how much time there is left until the piston clock. Don't go into the light, zombie. So you can see this is a pretty long delay. So I personally would make the delay a little bit shorter in the future, but that's something that you can fix. So you can see they'll walk around, and you can see the skeleton getting pushed, and the spider, they get pushed, and they continue on and fall. Hello, creeper. Comment if you've ever had a creeper just walk up behind you and sit there for a couple seconds before exploding. So you can see the flushing mechanism working now. You see all of them get pushed into the canal. There's the spiders that are still not in there. precisely, but all the mobs are in the canal. And the spiders will escape, but the taller mobs will not be able to, and they will fall to their instant doom. And you can see that spider somehow managed to take no damage, so I'm going to knock him off the edge. And you can see these mobs are basically one-shot kills. So, there you have it. That's how to build a basic flushing mob trap. And these canals on the edge, the surface can be as long as you want. I wouldn't recommend over, say, 50 or so on each side. It is a pretty material intensive, as for each repeater it takes 3 redstone and 3 stone. For each piston it takes quite a bit of stuff. If you want to use sticky pistons, you have to get a bunch of slime balls. You have to have 4 obsidian, or just 8 furnaces. But the material you build on, like I use stone, you can use cobblestone. It doesn't change anything. The only things that need to be the same are the delay system. You can use your own delay system if you want to, but I find that a piston clock is the best for the long delay you need. And the water dropping, you can devise a way to use 1 piston if you really wish to, but it's easier just to have a long row of pistons. So, thanks for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe please, and I will see you in my next episode.